All right. All right. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you find yourself. Today again, the course by radio on, and we can talk again more today about this Kush business because since we be done, they talk about this Kush, a lot of development they take place. They hold some of the middleman them, the small one there where they traffic the drug internally, and also we don't Yeri, the director with in charge of mental health and psychosocial department at the Minister of Social Welfare for say the government not get money. So at this point, we get for discuss why the government not get money for run the rehab them and waiting it takes for run the rehabilitation them. They say they get a structure on Hastings for the western area, Gundamanabo for the southern region, and Daru. They try to set up one at Daru for the eastern region. But right now, they don't get no victim in any of the facilities because they don't get any resource at all, no funding. Until they get funding, they get for wait. So we get for come play a video where with the from the actual person, the director intercept, in mouth where they talk him. But for help me talk there, I will bring on Mr. Jesse Fatoma. Mr. Jesse Fatoma, you can please introduce yourself to the audience, to the viewers.
Hi, Mina Jesse Fatoma. I reside in Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona. I'm a psychiatric nurse practitioner, and also they deal with mental health and addiction.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Fatoma. And we get here again Dr. Sia Matilda Banga. Instead, we can help you for Rob Mott and this talk. Doctor, please introduce yourself to the viewers there.
All right, Famble down duo. We glad you again for come before na Mina Dr. Sia Matilda Banga, Mina pastor one side, and then the other side also Mina CEO for one show when they call This Time Africa. So I'm glad you for the with tonight.
Okay, thank you for joining me today. So, like I said, today we're going to come play a video where they actually show the director in the talk with the interview. He was very blunt. He not try to hide nothing. He say money no day. So at this point, before we actually play, we get can see how the victims that they suffer in the country, because this not to treat way easy. What you brothers and sisters that they go through, and then they always emphasize the one for left this drug, but the need for left hand, and they need help, but they need to get this help. So we can play a short video where we actually show you how the people that they still suffer.
Back to the breakfast show. Now, a drug is devastating lives all across West Africa, and the UK is thought to be one of its main importers. Kush is highly addictive, but also affordable, making it irresistible to people in poverty. Well, the drug has gripped communities across West Africa. Our Africa correspondent, Yusuf El Bagir, has spoken to some at the centre of the crisis in Sierra Leone. And a warning, a report shows people suffering from malnutrition, which you may find distressing.
It's a temporary escape with a brutal come down. Kush looks like marijuana, but can be 25 times stronger than fentanyl, making zombies out of men and women in Sierra Leone. This synthetic drug is creating an underworld in plain sight and rapidly spreading across West Africa.
Kush is such an issue here that there's even a drug den under this main road. is suffering. But all the thing we tell you now, we need help. All is it, we need help. We need help. Look at my condition.
The conditions of the people here are as haunting as their home, a den of deprivation and disease.
There's this shared sense of pain and entrapment, and everyone coming in and out is connected through their addiction to Kush. And they've all told us that they want to quit, but as long as they stay here, they'll never break free. Elizabeth is 24 years old and pregnant with her second child, but can't bring herself to give up Kush as long as she stays here. Elizabeth, does it feel like a risk to smoke Kush while you're pregnant? Why are you taking the risk?
I keep smoking it because it makes me forget about my worries and challenges.
The numbness of the high has worn off, and she can't hold back her pain. These are not the fringes of Freetown, but a place for people of all ages, caught in the clutches of Kush.
This drug is evil. This drug is bad. I don't know why they gave me this drug in this country. Our brothers are suffering. Some are dying. Some have sores on their feet. We don't know. This drug brings destruction. Look at me. Just because of this drug, I have sores on my feet.
There's a shelter among shacks for teenagers like Ibrahim, whose Kush-induced sores have eaten away at their limbs. Some are paralyzed by infection and malnutrition, lying in corners where others have died before. The rest are debilitated.
Does it hurt? Abu Bakr is only 14 years old and was handed his first Kush joint at 12. He's been fighting for his life ever since. When was the last time you walked?
Long time.
Their limbs are literally ravaged by this. They've got these huge open sores that they have to keep washing with disinfectant. They can't even walk, and yet they're still scrambling to get cash to buy more Kush.
All right. So, see the short clip within this lady go do na Freetown. We always see how pathetic the body they rise while they see those young souls the waste, while they work that kind of thing. So, Dr. Matilda, what do you feel say? Let me rub more planets again. What do you feel say government for do? Because like how I say, them where they suffer, but then when they bring the Kush to the country, then they roam around free. You understand? We go most get people away know them, but then nobody identify them, then they enjoy, then they see them where they suffer. So what if really if you say government for do for help this situation? Because it is really dire.
It is a dire, thank you again, Siko. This is so crucial to we all. I hear one pandibobo and say this is not slow poison. If person they use something, then instead no say this na slow poison. I not think say a fear to that person they for say I they use and just for deaden me body for kill the pain where they feel, knowing that at the end of the day that pain they or whatever they use for deaden the pain na get for kill them. So for me listeners and on all of the view, this is a battle we cannot fight alone. We need government for rise up, and a battle where we not for afford for lose at all. This na battle, Siko, where we owe to we picking, we owe this to we youth, so that they not go die, then dreams they not go die by drugs. Government for make this a priority by all means, because now a public health hazard now we defect so. We fight a public and mental health hazard, as well as with a deplete with young generation and the people that we will for call future leaders of tomorrow. So waiting after a government for do now for make this a priority. Let we not lose this with young generation to this kind of thing here. And like I say, not a battle will get for fetelo. police get for involved, the mental health people then get for involved, the families then get for involved. So government for step up and make this a priority.
All right, all right. Dr. Banga, thank you so much for that. And I believe the government will actually treat it with priority because this is very, very urgent. Because when we get for listening to the director on social welfare, they say there are over 5,000 cases. And from last year, February to now, we don't only, I think, able to rehabilitate about 400. You know, that is really ridiculous. Government really need for step up and for handle this situation. And we, Naya, the court barrier, we will continue for raise the awareness, let government aware, let people aware, so that all man will put hands on deck. So, Mr. Fatoma, at this point, you are a nurse, you are a mental nurse, you did this area, and then people that did most of them they get mental issues. Government say they don't get resource or funding for actually rehabilitate them people and they integrate them into society. What do you feel say it takes for the government to run effectively, then facility them day?
Thank you very much, Sikofai, for having me here. This is not a fight where it can be a collaborative fight. It can involve government, it can involve parastatals, it can involve even families, it can a lot of people into this fight. One of the side and where we get them wrong was, from the first time we get them wrong, from the beginning of this whole problem, we get them wrong because the people and we get the technical know-how, we are left out in the planning process. Addiction, mental health, and this drug addiction, it's a whole illness on its own. And it gets people way, this is what they studied. This is what they went to school for. So you cannot take, a square and put them on a round hole. It doesn't work like that. So there has to be people with the technical know-how. Get them involved. First, we don't try for criminalize them. It's not working. Two, we don't try for, the approach what they take, it's supposed to be a dual approach, but they take a singular approach for fight the drug case. The singular approach what they take here is we only focus on the one them where they bring the drugs, where not they would run after. And even as though maybe, a lot of them they in the community now they would run after. That's well and good for do dandy. But what are we doing with the people we don't take these drugs? And that is where we are missing the point. Because when the one that we don't take the drugs, we're supposed to go through rehabilitation. And rehabilitation it goes through a lot of steps. First and foremost, like you asked that question, the first step of it is we have to have rehabilitation centers. Added to just where they say we need to forget the technocrats, we need to forget people we don't go school for this, people we're knowledgeable about these things. This is not about just going to copy and paste AI thing. These are people we don't go school for this. This is not their own expertise. This is what they do for their living. Okay, first get the people we get the technical know-how. If not practitioners, if not psychiatric doctors, way knowledgeable into mental health and also addiction, get them on board. Two, if you have to train the nurses where for work with the doctors, and then we need to forget social workers. Social workers, what they tell you about is not the normal social workers who will get naturally, or they just say, no disrespect to them, or they say this is not just social workers. We need licensed social workers way knowledgeable about DBT and CBT. DBT is a dialectic, behavior therapy, and CBT is the cognitive behavioral therapy. Because when these people they go through most of this addiction problem, if we get the rehabilitation centers and we get the people, then we get the technical know-how. This is the approach I want to make the government take, first and foremost. Like I stated, I go over again, get the people that we get the technical know-how that are trained in situations like this. I not say we want to let people and get job, and then the government, and then as alone, they want to let them get job. But let we put the right people in for handle situation like this. Get the rehabilitation centers in every district headquarters. Let we get rehabilitation centers. And so when we don't get then practitioners or psychiatric or doctors or we knowledgeable in mental health, we put them there. And then we get nutritionists. You see, most of them people I will get, they are emaciated. they are, they're really, they suffer from malnutrition. So we need to forget nutritionists. We need to forget laboratories, because this is a polysubstance abuse problem. This not only limited to Kush. We get also where to get tramadol, and tramadol gets one of the problems where it gets where some people not even know about it is tramadol. They cause what you call serotonin problem, serotonin issue. Serotonin are one of the neurotransmitters were responsible for making, if you go like depression and anxiety and stuff like that. So when you get a surge in serotonin level, it becomes a problem. When you get hyperreflexia, either you get a blood pressure issue, and sometimes they go through withdrawals, sometimes they die because of the internet. So secondly, we need to get all those people that will get technical know-how about that with the rehabilitation centers. Then we need to get wound care nurses. And all of these things involve money. So if you get wound care nurses, then guy they take this Kush, then Kush here. We get what we call in healthcare, we call peripheral vascular claudication. Peripheral vascular claudication is the fact that when you smoke excessively certain things or most of those chemicals, it clog your vascular, your veins and your arteries. So oxygen not the reach the far end of your appendages, like your hands, your foot. Oxygen not the reach there. So small croc come out there. As you scratch them, you get wound. And when you get that wound, because oxygen not the reach there, it will be very difficult for make it mend. So at the end of the day, the wound they continue to expand, and that's what it happen. It get infected. And when it get infected, guess again what did it happen? It become septic. When it becomes septic, the whole infection they go into the bloodstream. As it go into the bloodstream, into the circulation system, that they die. So this is some of the problem where they get up, apparently I say we need wound care nurses. And then we also need people like behavioral health technicians where we go get, or they want them not train, we they train them. The doctors or the practitioners, they train them, but let them have, because one, people like this, when they go through their withdrawals and they can become so violent. So because then they become violent, so we get people that we're going for de-escalate when situations like this arise. When let's say riotous conduct arise, they get people that we're able for help them for able for de-escalate situations like that. Then at the other aspect of this. So most of these things what they get, this Kush what they get, they show if you go test in a lab. Why I say so? Because then they change the constituent every now and then. This is marijuana where we already get in the country, where in a very in the content the potency is very high. So because then they put the other chemicals on them, whether the people that they smoke them, it cause problem. Marijuana they mimic schizophrenia because that we get what we call the first time episode. The first time episode where you take them, they begin act like zombie. You begin act like you hear voices, like we call them auditory hallucination, or maybe you get visual hallucination where like you see person we nobody know they see, or they see things we nobody know they see. So when they begin to take down, they're not just like schizophrenia, where they begin to get them hear them voices. And those are the signs of schizophrenia. So now, as a government, we get a responsibility for get people that we get the technical know-how. We get a responsibility for get rehabilitation centers. The one of the major problem where we get in Sierra Leone is because of we not pass the healthcare parity law. The healthcare parity law where probably indicates say you get for treat somebody we get the way they go through addiction because an illness of its own, the same way they treat somebody we get hypertension, or the same way they treat person we get diabetes. Why are they say this? Because we always view them from a judgmental angle. But we not ever judge somebody we get hypertension or we get diabetes. You can tell somebody will come to your clinic or your hospital, you tell and say, because you get diabetes, no go eat sugar. Yet they still go and eat sugar. And when he eat the sugar they go up. When he come back in the clinic, either it gets into hyperglycemia, and then at the end of the day, if you not take time, you go to DKA, and all those problems, that's they still cause problem. But you don't want to say not do, but it's still the do. So what do we do now? Pass the healthcare parity law, budget money into healthcare, and at the same time, let some of this money go towards mental health and addiction, because this is what our people are suffering from. So until we try to get some right, we just the plant where people and say they plant here over loss. At the end of the day, just it is as they itch them or they scratch them, it itch they scratch them. Now so it rough. So the government gets a greater responsibility. Then the other aspect of it is get involved churches, get involved schools. Then we get what we got peer support groups. There are people where they take 10 drugs there, where at the end of the day, themselves, they don't go through the process. They don't go through the rehabilitation process. Maybe they don't go through the therapy you name it. Now they don't well. These are people who are also able for use, as we call them the peer support group. Let them have the part of the team. Where will they go talk to people then? Where will they go talk to people in a church? Where will they talk to clubs in a group, universities? Where they talk to clubs in a high school? Where they talk to clubs in a mosque? Then people are there because these are the first people and we don't go through the rehabilitation process. They don't get the experience. So these are all the structures where government need for set aside for make we be able. So let us not just focus on who is bringing the drugs. Of course, it's very important who is bringing the drugs because we need to pull them again, the one where they take the drugs, pull them from the environment where the drug is being peddled, and then bring them to the rehabilitation center. After they don't go through all them processes, from you going through the withdrawal process, because we say again people that they die not through the withdrawal process. When somebody they go through drug withdrawals, in here in America, we get medications where they give them for make it able for mimic the drug where they take. So that way they never go through, they never get all those signs and symptoms of drug. We'll get scales where they look at. Let's say if they go through withdrawal, is this person they become is diaphoretic? This person get anxious. This person a blood pressure high. So all of those things, and then we get numbers where they allocate. So based on the number where they allocate, based on the score where they score, that is how we give then drugs and day. Then after that, we get medications where they give for make it stop cravings. But all of that in the day, so long we not get them. So that is why I did really crave on the indulgence of the government. Let's come together. Let's work as a collaborative unit. Get doctors involved, get nurses involved, get social workers involved, and get behavioral techs involved, where they go train at the ground, or come to America, go to UK. There are people when are Sierra Leoneans, we don't be in this year for a very long time. Get a 6-month plan. Say, we they bring you come to the Sierra Leone, okay, be reasonable enough. We're not getting money for pay you. When we get to the ground, set the structures in place. After you don't set the structures in place, 6 months, your contract done, you come back. The people that were there on the ground then take over. So that is how we were able for. And so far, I will stop here for now. A government, government will do this there.
All right, Mr. Fatuma, thank you so much for this brilliant education. And we want to do with viewers them. They would subscribe to the channel. We'll tap on the notification bell so that next time what they produce, we'll get it instantly. And also we'll tap on the thumbs up when they like and when I share the video. Yeah. So now at this point, we therefore watch the Director of Mental Health and Psychosocial Department at the Minister of Social Welfare. Let we see or hear what they talk about in interview.
Demand, you talk about thousands of, is it that, the demand very high for the space one able to provide for rehabilitating the people there?
The available services is very inadequate. We established Hastings. Now, I'm a PMTC in Hastings, so that's the first rehab. We also get one, Gundama, for South region, and we're in the process of establishing a rehab center on time. But as I speak currently, the last batch of discharge was in July, because there are no resources currently from government or any partner for the rehabilitation. So as I'm speaking, the centers are empty because there are lack of resources.
Another patient
currently, as I'm speaking.
Why?
Resources not there. So the chairman of the National Task Force on Drug and Substance Abuse, they don't make a commitment for some funds where is available. So they transfer that to the Ministry of Social Welfare. We have 40 people in town. Currently, Hastings is empty, but not it's empty because there are no resources.
So, Since when una for providing service with resources no there, and how long that's for?
I think it will begin from February 2024. We'll establish the first center at Hastings. So their mission, we don't stagger because of resource problem. Because you may know is that in April 2024, His Excellency the President declared state of emergency, for two reasons. One, to mobilize resources for federal drug and for enhanced partnership collaboration. But from that same day to now, we've only rehabilitated 4 young people and provide necessary resources and services. And the data, they tell us that they're close to 5,000 we get. So it's almost a drop in the ocean. So if this affects really for pressure, more resources needs to be allocated.
So what I want to clarify is when una stop for admit them people there at the center, where resources are available, and from which month to now?
The rehab process began from February.
Yes, I understand.
So where the money can be available, we admit them. So I make we admit in batches of 50. One time, when money been there, we admit up to 120. So we can discharge them after a period of time. So when money are available, we do the assessment process and admit again. But money not there, so gaps below there. For example, in 2024, from between February to September, we were able to admit, reintegrate, and rehabilitate and reintegrate close to 300 until September. So from September to February 2025, there was no money. So when money come back from what we get, we'll begin check the database and the call that is and parenting. So they will be done already, honestly, because of that gap will be done there. Because if we continually rehabilitate, we'll save lives. Because the young people are very vulnerable and they're out there perishing. So then we have to play cure.
All right. Okay, guys. So, Dr. Banga, you don't want this clip from the director of Mental Health and Psychosocial Department at the Ministry of Social Welfare. What do you think about the interview?
So, my personal thought is this: why no funds? That's the first question I want to ask. Why we go say we no get funds for this kind critical issue when a social welfare issue? It's a social welfare issue. Which kind of program, if I may ask, where the government or the social welfare or the mental health people, which kind of program would they use when a sustainable program? Because now one thing for gather the 50 people them and admit them. And then when they admit them, do they go back into the same cycle of going back to take the drugs? Or what is the outlet that makes them restore back their dignity as youth? What is it? What's the outlet they're using? I just want to understand, not just the cycle. Okay, when I take 50 people, they come, okay, then feel them better, and then then they flush them out. With the government get program where able for reintegrate then young people there into something that is sustainable, so they're not able to go back. So that's not my thought, Seco 5. My thought is government get for do everything. This is a mental public health issue where they weigh down the country, where Boku people then they talk about. And it's not a good look. Not a good look. If not then we are the people then we get for elections, if not then we are the people where they say we they count on for go dance and sing, we are obliged for provide good health for them. And we rehabilitation system get for be such that, again, that it not go just be say, then can no more after 50, where 50 don't come, I don't know how they do for flush them out and all of that. My brother, they are so in the mental health system. But after that is done, what next? What next for these people?
Yeah, that's the million question we really would try to find answers to, because we don't really know. And government don't declare this situation emergency situation last year, according to this guy, according to the social welfare minister the last time I listened to her. But then the thing is not being treated like an emergency.
Yeah.
You know, imagine this man, they say they get 5,000. And from what he don't say, they don't treat, I think, less than 200. At some point,
Less
40.
than 200, yeah.
Yeah, less than 200. So out of 5,000, and you cannot even get 5,000, 1,000. Take care of 1,000, funds don't run out. So this government really need to explain to we, for me then really make we know what they need plan for do for helping people on the street. Mr. Fatoma, what do you think about the
sorry, before you bring Mr. Fatoma in, just one thing. Okay, you know, I know say we all they talk about government, but also, and I think say Mr. Fatoma will also agree with me on this. We also get international organizations. We have agencies. I don't know, Mr. Fatoma, if one they partner with them or would they include them in this process for see how they go able for help with.
Okay, if I can come in first and foremost, like
sure.
this
Yeah, go ahead.
topic we don't come with, we get what we call the inter and intra collaborative effort in fighting drugs. The inter collaborative effort in fighting drugs is wherein the government will reach out to international partners and say, hey, this is what we are going through. We are not equipped for you know, this kind menace who will get in our society, so we need help. So resources go come, and when resources come, then we're able to use them judiciously for help with brothers and sisters where they go through this ordeal. This is not the inter-collaborative effort, but within the intra-collaborative effort, that is wherein we now they collaborate mental health nurses, doctors, they collaborate with the medical nurses, then they collaborate with social workers, then they collaborate with, so everybody come on the table, on deck for like they're able for treat, because now the height at which this thing don't reach, it need everybody for come on board for use their own expertise for come on board for able for treat for give a holistic treatment. You will ask what's not the exit plan in with all this thing where they go on. Like I stated before, the first aspect of it is MAT. We get what we call medication assisted treatment, or called MAT. So this medication assisted treatment is wherein way then Gaia don't take this drug there, but now then they go through withdrawal process. And when they go through withdrawal process, the only thing we're able for help you for make you not die, mostly one, if your body good enough for make you do what we call auto detoxing. That when your body able for handle all the rudiments where they can, all the kickbacks or the withdrawal symptoms where they come with the drugs, or your body able to handle them, or they able to go through that withdrawal process. That's we call them auto detoxing and a self-detoxing. Then we get what we call this medication-assisted treatment detoxing, wherein we give a monitor this person where they go through these withdrawals. We give medication, let's say this medication where they mimic this particular drugs where they take, where it goes down at the receptors, where they act exactly like that drug where that person they be done they smoke or where they done they take, where they act exactly like that. And most of these medications what we need, we don't have them in Sierra Leone, and these are expensive drugs. So that is where the government need for reach out to international partners and say, hey, we get this, but we're not getting drugs here. We're able for help for for treats that we brothers there and that. And then most of them guys where you see, you really know say these guys are dehydrated. They need fluid resuscitation. Most of them they need them, and then we need nutritional aspect of it. They need them. So when after they don't go through all this process, they don't go through the medication assisted treatment. Now we get the other aspect, we say you will call it the exit plan, wherein we get the therapists, they come in. Therapists come in, we get a plan, you get a goal. We get what you call an individualized plan or individualized goal. We all they take drugs together, but we all get we own goals, and they treat, get a generalized plan for treat an individual. Everybody gets a own plan where they goal and set where they set with, based on the person where they treat her. Because the way how it left you, it might not be the same way it left me. So that is where the therapists come in. We get what we call cognitive behavior therapy. The cognitive behavior therapist, maybe it extend up to a month or two, where in this person here they come through the therapist for make it get that distorted thinking, then drugs and what it don't take, make it stop for the taker. And then you also they bring in activities where it help this person for make it stop for make it exactly from that point to the time of the goal where you don't set for the outcome, and you say, okay, this person don't go through all this thing now, it don't done, then you go able for reintegrate them to society. We get cognitive behavioral therapy, and then we get dialectic behavioral therapy. So we get so many other therapies, and and even get activities where we are engaged in. We'll go able for help them. But it has to be the drug. Then you not need interruption. Like what they do so. You say we don't get 50 people, we don't wait to say, then we know they don't left them. They're going back. So then they go into a concentric circle. We are in the same thing when they don't go, they go back or go start them again. So when you come back to them, you have to start all over again with the treatment.
So let me ask you, Mr. Fatoma, Now, they get the structures right now. They get at least 2. They try to get 1 more now in that room.
Yeah.
Let we assume say they don't get phone, or okay, they don't get phone. Not they assume, they say they don't get phone. Yeah. But then, what about if they go take them people and at least take them off the street, put them in that empty facility with no funding, no resources, but not they go through all them clinical thing the way they describe now. You understand? But at least you take them off the street, you take them off from that drug, you go put them in a secluded place, and then facilitate them. At least they give them water and food. That basic food and water they give them. No treatment, no medical treatment, no clinical treatment. None of this way they talk about. Will that help them or not?
Well, I look at that from two perspectives. Right now, them guys out in the streets, right? We don't take them drugs there. If you have to keep them somewhere, you need to be able to feed them. You need to be able to provide just the basics. And then when you get them to the center, we get what we call triaging. You triage, you get someone that one the way we get comorbidities. Comorbidities in the sense they get other illnesses, underlying illnesses, we already don't come in because of the drugs we take. So if you just cluster them in one side, in one building, there's a risk of infection outbreak in there because you don't carry whatever. So now each time you triage, every stage where you triage to, every time you separate them, you say, well, now they want to get wound care. Sometimes they don't get drug resistant wound where they call MRSA, where they don't get. If you go put them now among other people that will not get that, that's how they get them. So each time you triage, you get for know the one that will get the same illness, you put them on one side. The one that will not get the one that will get this other illness, same, you put them on one side. The one that way they don't take, but they are not mentally they don't really know the drug-induced mental psychosis not don't go further yet, you put them aside. But then you also get forget the other one that way violent. That I can tell you for free. There's nobody where they take from streets where don't they take this drug here. Where drug they left and we want for going to rehabilitation center. So what do? That is why we need to get trained personnel. We understand how to treat things then like this. But if we just decide say we they go take policeman or soldier man, it take whip, it take cane, policeman they take cane and they run after that. It's not going to work like that. If we decide say we criminalize them, you take them and go put them up a neighborhood, it doesn't work like that. So government has a responsibility for provide, because the government responsibility for provide the basic needs for the people. Food. Now they say they get food okay for schools and this and that. Some of them food, and then if there's a way where they're going for divert them and get the people and then set them some side and do them triaging and get them the basic medication, let them go to them. So at the same time, some of them food and then we're able to give them. We also get family members and we're willing for let them pick it and go to rehabilitation centers. We're even willing for pay money. And it's people that know the way they reach out to me, we don't say, I want my brother for go to rehabilitation center. I get this money for pay. But the centers, they're not functionable. If we not get functional centers, then how we go for treat them people here?
Okay, well, thank you so much. So, excuse me, from the layman point of view, I ask that question. Because the judge say you go just go take them, put them on one place, they give them food and water, which is better than them sleeping in the cemetery or bomber or on open bridges. So now from that point, they may look at them. But where you don't tell me now, I don't feel
So
ashamed. Actually,
you get a compromise of different aspects of the stage within day, like we brothers say. And I think this is a community involvement. It's a community. It's an interagency collaboration where families, like we say, families who are willing to support local leaders, and then we religious heads them. We mosque, we churches them. All man are things in that way. All man get for be involved. In fact, now for take on the issues, then they as one of the thing way we they do what for we church or for we mosque for see, and it could be just 20 people. But can you imagine if 4 mosques then take 20 people, little by little, I think say we go see the change and get a safer environment.
Not true. We really get for involved. But the 1.2 I hear from all them victims then, from different videos I want to watch, they ask for help.
Yes.
They ask for help.
So that's where you can only refine when you define. The problem has been defined. You don't identify the problem. And this is don't identify the problem. So now this is time for maybe for refine within the for able for help them and bring them to it. So how we get for do these things? We get for involve everybody has to be from family. One, you see you as a mom or you as a dad, you get you picking a house. You don't say what if you don't they do? You don't see changes in you picking them. You don't see the kind of friends where they hang out with. So it's your responsibility to begin for pick them up and say, oh, something is wrong somewhere. This person in grade don't begin drop. If they play trancy, if they cake from school, and in grade don't begin drop. So it's your responsibility for be able to catch them early when you're at that early stage.
Yeah.
If you catch them at the early stage, you're not able to go through to this point here. This thing where we see so it also involves university students. Wow, you also need for target their university clubs, their university fraternities. Targets them because sometimes when they go do the initiation, they use some of them things there. Because one, again, some people they want for triumph out of curiosity. Some people they want for triumph because they want for belong. Some people they want for triumph because they want for numb them pain. You find out that somebody go say this people as you don't go school no more, the first time you don't come, now I don't begin to act like this. And nobody act like this. Why? Because you don't go get a first episode of taking marijuana or taking Kush because you want for feel belong. Or because in party don't force and for let them go for initiation. So involve all them people and they involve before pastor they preach. Tell and say, include this into your sermon. Talk about Kush. Before classes they start the devotion, include this in a devotional program in schools. Before even technical institutions, include this in other. So the brain has a way for adapting to things. Them the more you puff on at the brain, and the more the brain they accept them. They accept them little by little until it becomes part and parcel of the body. So we have a responsibility, just like when elections they come, when government and they take upon themselves, they print flyers, they send them at schools, they send them at churches, they send them at all the other organizations. It is the same way we need to treat this addiction. Otherwise, we get a future which is going to be bleak. We get a future where there's going to be a generational gap because this generation was supposed to take care of the future. If we not take time, sometimes we get for come further for can't take we own picking them now. Wait for careful can't take because we are generation they don't already done the destroy. So we have a responsibility as the people and also as the government.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Fatoma. For now, wrap up, Dr. Banga, do you agree with people in 1 or 2 minutes conclusion here? The advice we will give to nation and government.
So the advice me want for give in closing is that we forget more public awareness campaign education. And the public awareness education way they suggest is for strengthening the prevention because some people in the way don't already they inside and the fan way for get out, right? But we get for also do them in the schools, we get for do them in the churches so that there is an awareness for prevention on the dangers of drug abuse. And I want for let we know say we get for treat these as the drug dependency as a public health and human rights issue as well. So at a big Papa government, at a big the one within the different agencies, our religious leaders, let we put an on this thing. Not one day we'll go down this topic, but little by little, if we have the exact agencies and strategies as to how we can progress from A to B, and not say very soon we'll go before see some light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Banga. So, Mr. Fatoma, quick one. What am I closing here to the nation and to the government?
So the government first at the start is the government gets a responsibility for take care of its citizens. And so because we don't ever find ourselves in situations like this now the first time we find ourselves in this situation. So it's very difficult for fight this battle. But you as a government, you also get the responsibility for protect your citizens. So these are my suggestions. You don't have to listen to me, but I give you this from an expert view. Look around yourself. If you go take people and we get a background of finances or whatever thing, where we get people in a salon, we're able to handle the aspect of finances. But you see they bring import people from overseas and come for let they come help. It's also the same way it will work here. Come and fetch out people, we get a technical know-how, get a team, get a 6-month plan, let them get on the ground, let it get running, and make sure, we get all the things the tools and way we need, and get on the ground able to tackle this problem here. Otherwise, it's going to give a problem. If, like I said, get them people here, get it on the ground. If you get a psychiatric nurse practitioner, or if you get a psychiatrist, you get a social worker. The social worker, licensed social worker, we don't deal with situations like this that are experienced. We have them that are Sierra Leoneans. We have them here. We have the doctors here, psychiatrists, and we have nurse practitioners. They deal with situations like this in America, in Europe. We get them there, gets them a contract. Then as Sierra Leoneans, tell us, I don't have this kind of money to pay you, but we'll give you this just for cushion you because the left you come first for camp. Medicam for set up a system, get the system running for 6 months. And then you then teach the one that we're supposed to take over. After 6 months, they exit, and then the system will continue for run. That's one aspect of the government. So we people then pay attention to you picking. Pay attention to how you begin to behave, and compare to what we don't do before and how it behave now. When you don't spend so much money for send you picking at college, also they follow up, go to check on them. Because you don't know what they go through. Sometimes they want for belong. Sometimes they want to be part of club. Be mindful of the friends that you picking and they keep. Because of peer pressure, they can end up for do something where they don't ever do it. Do you and a big at the big. Law all put hands on deck or make sure we kick out this Kush and get a future-free drug addiction as a relay.
Okay, well, thank you. Family them, if you ask them, we'll get for the court barrier, we'll get for the bring camp people them. Then we can discuss now court barrier so that we'll find solution to this problem we'll get. Because this is a big problem where either directly or indirectly they affect to all as a nation. So we get for the come often and again for discuss this. So to Mr. Fatoma and Dr. Banga, I want to say thank you so much, and I will see you again next time. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Fine.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.